Hello and welcome back to another installment of What People Have Written About ENFJ and the Extroverted Feeling Function. My name is Doris, I'm a type and relationship coach, and today we're looking at one of the Introduction to Type series books. There are a bunch of them. So we're going to start looking at Introduction to Type in College by John DiTiberio and Alan Hammer. The way these Introduction to Type booklets are organized is they start with a general introduction to what type is, and then they have a one-page bullet points for each of the 16 types. So I'm going to read you the bullet points for the ENFJ in college. ENFJ types arouse support and enthusiasm for new projects. Yes, they express themselves well, especially in front of a group. Let's hope so. They radiate concern for others and will work hard on their behalf. Yes, their actions are usually guided by an idealistic vision that they believe is possible for people. Absolutely, that is definitely true for me. Now, when it comes to choosing a major, say an ideal career is one that lets them use their special abilities. Okay, that would imply that we're aware of our special abilities. I don't know that I was when I was 19, but then I didn't go to college at 19. I went to college at 22. And I still didn't know what my special abilities were. Tend to decide early on a major and stick with it. That, yes. So the first time when I went to get my undergraduate, I decided it should be human resources management because I had just gone through an apprenticeship program where I toured various departments, and HR was the one that I liked best. Now, the problem there is that I was making the limited choice based on my limited experience. I wasn't really looking at the full big picture. If I had been aware of type that early on when I was about to go to college, I think I would have started with psychology and stuck with that and not wasted 10, 15 years trying to work in corporate. Tend to choose people-oriented majors that require cooperation, such as teaching, ministry, counseling, or selling. Yeah, I mean, HR I thought was going to be people-oriented, but then capitalism, right? So yeah, I wish I had gone into counseling. But then who knows what would have happened, and I probably wouldn't have been here. So anyway, learning style, report that the most important goal of education is to learn how to get along with different kinds of people. I mean, hello, this is everything that I do, appreciation of differences, and so yeah, that tracks. Interested in literature and tolerant of theory, very interested in literature, and learning to love, growing to love, getting of the age where, midlife, flipping into the thinking, that I enjoy a good theory. Do their best thinking aloud, bouncing ideas off others, absolutely. Don't do it enough. Achieve through perseverance and hard work. Yes. I mean, a lot of it I think is also luck, but not putting myself down or minimizing or deflecting. Yeah, I do work. I do put in some hours, so sure. Feels weird to accept it though, right? There's always the urge to say, no, it's nothing. But actually, yeah, damn it, it is something. Want learning to pertain to human values and growth? Absolutely. Reading, writing, studying. Need harmony to study or to achieve potential? Yes. If there's a conflict or a tension, even somewhere in the offing, it is distracting, that's true. Prefer to study with others and often organize study groups. That I don't know so much, because I do like my peace and quiet when I read and underline and then draw my conclusions and stuff. So, Prefer to read about human interest rather than technical subjects. Yes, and I like a technical subject if I can then apply it to a human situation. Thinking of those theories again, like the type model or statistical analyses of psychological research. Because it applies to people, we can all do all the functions. If we're playing around in the functions below the conscious surface, they tend to be used in service of the dominant function. So I would say, yeah. Would rather talk than write and often dictate their first drafts. I did a video about write from the start where I said that I'm not dictating nearly enough. I should be dictating a lot more. Need to revise final draft to make it more logical and sequential and to remove too many references to personal convictions. Oh God, that is something, yes, if you're in school now and the essays that you write, If you're anything like me, you're going to get be more specific reference in the margins. Often involved in campus activities, helping others or providing some service, often as a leader. When I was at uni, I worked behind the bar, and I believe that was providing a very important service. Initiate many get-togethers in the dorm, but first ask what others want to do. I remember when I was working abroad, I like to bring... Actually, no, this goes back into living in halls of residence during my apprenticeship as well, because we were international. I like to bring the international people together as well. I made friends because I realized there was a new person on some other floor, and I went and I knocked on the door and said, "Hi, do you need a friend? Let's go out." Wow, okay, blast from the past. Say they have no trouble dating once a week or more. Yeah, if I remember back to my college days, dating was never a problem. Or finding time to hang out with people. You make the time if it's important. Throw themselves into work, but enjoy it more if they are helping others. Yeah, seriously, being behind the bar was great because you get to chat a little bit and you see everybody. You don't have to walk around campus, they literally all come to you. Thoroughly recommend. Possible causes of stress. May try to take care of others more than themselves. That is something not just in college, I think. That is a theme throughout our lives, that we tend to want to be the shoulder for others because it makes us feel good. But also eventually there comes a point where other people's issues can be overwhelming. And until we learn to set either a boundary or understand that their issues are not necessarily our issues, right? May over-idealize others. Absolutely. That is something that is going to go on for many years beyond college as well, I'm going to say. Maybe oversensitive to indifference and personalize it. Absolutely. Indifference and, overt criticism. Yeah. Their need to socialize may interfere with work. That I don't know if that was true, because being in school and getting good grades was always important to me. I don't know if that's necessarily a function of the cognitive preferences or how you were raised and what is important to you in life in general. May try to live by other people's shoulds. I think ENFJs in particular might do that anyway because of the whole trying to fit into the social norms and values. Add to that the peer pressure of being out of the teenager angsty type of life phase. Yeah, I resonate with that. Those are the causes of stress. Now, dealing with stress, like going to movies with friends to relieve tension. Escaping, not just a movie, also reading a novel or watching TV or something where I don't have to think. That is great. Naturally rely on friends for support. That I would want to bring in a little nuance, because we, at the same time, it's a little bit of a tension, because we like to look like we have our shit together and that we don't need any help and that people can rely on us. But yes, we also need people to rely on. I still like to discuss things happening in my life with my friends just to get it off my chest. Not to the same extent as I used to, but it's still happening. Naturally give their personal best to any task. Yes, until we're gonna, get a little bit older and learn that we also need our boundaries and can allocate our efforts to the things that are really important. Learn to identify and take care of own needs. That in college years I have not done. So for my bachelor's, when I was in my early 20s, I definitely did not do that. I did my master's in my late 40s. I did do it then. So that gets better with age. And last but not least, must make time for studies in busy social schedule. The social schedule was a lot busier than it is now, and making time for studies, obviously, yeah. I think something that in my bachelor's, at least, I was aware of is people around me would brag about pulling all-nighters. They'll wait until the last minute and then pull an all-nighter and hand the essay in the morning. To me, that would have been, I think I've done 1 or 2 of those, but then 3 days after I'm absolutely knackered. So What ENFJs tend to do, because of the judging preference, is once we know that there is a task ahead, we kind of start chipping away at it already. I'm also pressure prompted on the MBTI step 2. That means I like a deadline. I respond well to a deadline. I don't wait until the very last minute, but I work backwards. It's good to have a date to work backwards from. And in college, when you know that you have to hand an essay in, I think as an ENFJ, or at least the judging type, if that is expressed in you, then you're probably going to start early-ish to think about it. You may not write everything down, but I definitely started thinking about it and maybe doing a little bit of research already, so I wouldn't have to do an all-nighter, because I like my sleep. I did then and I do now. Okay, this was a quickie introduction to type in college, and if you liked this one, you're probably going to enjoy this next video as well. I'll see you there.